Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Trying Not to Lose Money in the Stock Market. It's going to be fun. Um, let's see. Get some music going. Some musica. What do we want to listen to? How about Vampire Party? The Vampire Party sounds like fun. Let's do it. Okay. So we're here about to start the market in 15 minutes. I've got my good luck charm over my right shoulder here. Let me see if I'm pointing at it. That guy right there. That's Benji. He's a little green dragon that Stacy gave me for good luck. He's the appropriate color green. We wouldn't want a red dragon. Try not to have any red in the room. Let me get back to my news. As you can see over here, we got news in the headphones. Just in case something weird happens, I like to hear about it. You know, they release like any kind of breaking news or something like that. I get to hear it in the headphones. That way I'm not blindsided while I'm in the middle of a trade. So the stocks we're in today, we're in Coherent, which is photonics. AMD, which is, their competitor to NVIDIA, basically. They do graphics cards, and I think they do CPUs as well. We're in DRAM, and that is memory play. And we're in Apple, which is a dog, and I'm getting tired of looking at it, but I know as soon as I sell it, it's going to do something. So it's just basically just taking up room in my portfolio that could honestly probably be used better elsewhere. I'm down like $45 for the year on it, and so I'm kind of being stubborn a little bit. I want to make that money back, so I'm just been kind of hanging on to it on the side, waiting patiently for it to go back up. Let's see. Let's check X and see if my guy, he usually posts a card that has the kind of his picks for the day and levels. It's hit or miss whether they work, but I still like looking at them. So he's got SpaceX 135, long at 135. He's got Intel breaking long at 98 and Nvidia breaking long at 220. So he seems to be bullish for the day. That probably means that the market's going to crash. So I'll go ahead and write those down. What was it? SpaceX 135, SPCA. Go ahead and mark a level off on SpaceX in case it gets to that. What was the other one? INTC. What do you say? 98 break. Oh, he's looking for it to break the high. That's probably something I could learn from him because he tends to get involved with them when they have momentum. I tend to get involved with them whenever they're at just really good prices, and sometimes that doesn't work because there's a reason they're selling off. I'm not too interested in this one, I don't think. What was the other one? Nvidia? 228 break, is that what he said? I don't know, I'm not really into that one either. So we're just waiting for the open. I've already got most of my money allocated. There was a small cap where I was looking at. What was that called? P-lag? See what that thing's doing. Alright, so I traded it right. I think I took this break right here and I made that candle. Looks like it retested and now it's sold off. This one might run at the open. It's a Chinese company. You can't ever tell with those things. Like, sometimes they're good. Sometimes they just pull the rug on you. I'm not too interested. It's really cheap. Man. Kind of tired today. So as far as stops go, Coherent is at 325 right now. I think if it breaks down below, we'll make a line here. Let's see. I'll bring it over here. I think if we break down below this kind of 322 level, then we'll probably just take our loss and live to fight another day. I hate doing that because stops are difficult, like a lot of times. So this is obviously a point where it's found support several times. Whenever you create a stop, you kind of want it to be a little bit below that. Or what a lot of times will happen is it'll hit this area, it'll go past it a little bit, and then it'll form support, kind of like it did right there with that wick. Here with this wick, those two wicks. So it did it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times and found support every time. So when you're creating a stop, you really want it to be a little bit below that. Probably more like 321. But you definitely want to have a stop. You don't want to just hold on to it and let it just completely sell off. So I'll probably put this one on the main screen just in case we have to get stopped out of it. Man, it's trying to go down right now. But I'll definitely get out of it and then get back in it if it bases out. To me, this one made a crazy move down yesterday, and I think it was overblown. There was some news that came out that 500 billion was going to be invested from some of the big hedge funds like BlackRock, and I don't know, there was a bunch of them, but Goldman Sachs. They're all like getting together 500 billion to put into the AI data center place, and it's pretty much going to Nvidia. So when that came out yesterday, everything kind of died off because they're like, oh, here we go again, they're spending a bunch of money. But this is kind of different. This is not them spending money. This is hedge funds investing money. It's not going on their balance sheet. It's not incurred debt. So it's nothing like that. I don't really think everything should have sold off like it did yesterday. So I'm kind of playing a hunch on this one a little bit. And when this one runs, it runs like $50 in a day. So um, I'm gonna. This is kind of a hunch for me. We'll see what happens. I don't know how long I'm going to trade today. This is probably going to be a short one, to be honest. I'm kind of tired, but I wanted to go ahead and get on and for the open. You know, that's the exciting part of the day. That's when all the volume comes in, is right at the open. So we check it out. A little bit too much tequila last night. If you were watching yesterday, whenever I shut the stream down, I was kind of underwater. Those trades pretty much played out, as you can see by my balance up there. I was below. I think I was around 1990 or something like that yesterday, and I'm obviously above 2000 now. So those trades did okay. Well, I take that back. I ended up being about break even yesterday. Minute and a half till the open. This coherence making me nervous. I got to be prepared to get out of this one in case it just flushes at the open. I'm tempted to get out of it and see what happens at the open, so I'm not involved in some kind of crazy flush. All right, one more minute till the open and get ready to bail out of this one. I trade with hotkeys for anybody wondering at the bottom. It lets me get in and out quick. That's what this, when I hit the button, it comes up and then I just punch what number, and I've got them all pre-programmed so that I know what they're doing. Get this bottle of water out of the way. It's about to be game time right here. "15 seconds. "5 seconds. Here we go. Yikes. Okay, I'm going to jump back into Coherent. It seems like it's kind of stabilized. AMD is flushing though. That one's a little bit more concerning. Hopefully it doesn't keep going down. That's going to be really disappointing.
Dark City. And we push it. Dark City.
Of course, the market's selling off, and it feels like Groundhog Day all over again.
Take your time.
Man, AMD is flushing. I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought that the news for Nvidia was going to be strong for this one as well, but it doesn't seem like it is. That surprises me a little bit. We're down like $5 a share. Huh. Surprises me a little bit. Apple seems like it's doing okay. DRAM is doing really good. Coherent is, I'm underwater on that one, and I'm underwater on AMD, which AMD surprises me, honestly. I thought that that one was a little bit more solid, and it doesn't seem to be. I'll be damned. Everybody was bullish today, so that's one of the things. Like whenever you watch Trader TV or whoever you rely on for your information, you got to be very careful whenever you're taking other people's opinions on whether the market's going to be bullish or bearish for the day. That kind of stuff creeps into your mind when everybody's like excited about the day and bullish, and it makes it even subconsciously like whatever kind of viewpoints you have on the market for the day, that's kind of stuff will leak in, and you got to be you got to have very good consistency and willpower to not let that kind of stuff influence your trading. You know, sometimes they're right, but sometimes they're wrong. It's like anybody. I mean, I can flip a coin and tell you whether I think the market's going to be bullish or bearish also, so kind of take that stuff with a grain of salt sometimes. AMD is not catching a bid, and that one worries me. I may have to get out of this. Bro. I think if it doesn't turn right here, I'm going to have to get out of it. We'll give it down to for, I think if it breaks 464, I'm probably going to have to get out of that. Unfortunately, you do have to, if you don't have a kind of clear set area where you're going to get out of a trade, you can find yourself into a position where you're holding it, and then it gets out of hand, and then you're down too much, and you can't cut it loose without really, bringing the pain. So I'm watching this one close. If it breaks down below 464, I'm out. It does seem like it's trying to rebound now. If it starts coming up and I get a little breathing room, I won't watch it as closely, but whenever it's kind of bouncing around the area where I want to take a stop, you really have to pay attention and be ready to bail. Fight or flight, as they say. It's kind of just bouncing right there. It's pushing back down. My hard stop is at 464. I will get out. Just trying to go lower again. Sounds like we have existing home sales coming out in 30 minutes. Yeah, I'm out. It'll probably bounce now. That's unfortunate. You just don't know. Like I held on to some of these other ones through the open, and they worked out for me. That one didn't. It's kind of a gamble. You don't know what they're gonna do right whenever the market opens. Like sometimes they sell off really hard, and sometimes they run. So it's really just a crapshoot. Everything's kind of shitting all over itself right now. Unfortunate. That's what happens. Take the good with the bad. You can't get depressed about it. I'm gonna get back into AMD. It looks like it's trying to climb back up. That's what can happen, man. Everything just turns around on a dime sometimes. Yeah, it's these guys. It's funny. I'm feeling pretty good about it at the moment. It seems like everything's stabilized, found a base, and we could start building off this. AMD is the one that's kind of got me concerned. Like, I don't understand really why that good news came out yesterday and these are selling off. It seems like to me, like, if anything, um, it may be some market manipulation by the big boys. They know everybody's excited about it, so they're trying to flush out all the retail traders right off the open, so everybody gets out, the stock price goes down, and then maybe they buy it up. See what happens here. The thing about those guys is they have a lot more patience than retail traders, and if they really want to push the price down, they can do it over a course of, it's usually no more than 3 days, but sometimes they do it like steady pressure over 1, 2, 3 days, and then they come in and they buy it up after hours or at the market open. That's why you see, flushes or buy programs right off the open because they need liquidity. So if they do it after hours, normally if they do it after hours, they'll do just enough. Like if they want the price to go up, they'll just kind of seed it a little bit after hours and have it going up, get everybody excited about it, and then sell off at the open. And the same thing, like they can push the price down really bad after hours if they want to. Right now I'm just being patient. See, he was real bullish on Intel right before the open. He was all about it, and now he's saying he's not liking it anymore. So they're wrong a lot of times. You have to be very careful about buying in on their trade ideas. And when I say buying in, I'm not paying for it, but I mean just like letting them influence your trades. Because they have no control over the market makers as well, like these big hedge funds want to push the price around. They can do it very easily. Retail traders only make up about 10% of the market, and of that 10%, you also got to think about how we're all individuals. When you're talking about a big hedge fund, they can put all their money into one idea. The retail traders might be split, 70-30, bullish, bearish, or whatever. So even though we're 10% of the market, it's even less than that a lot of times. Everything's starting to bleed off now. I may have to get out of Coherent. Okay, we'll give it a hard stop at 318, I guess. This is one of the toughest things about trading, is watching the price go down when you're in the red and then having the conviction to cut the trade. One of the biggest mistakes you can make as a retail trader is not cutting trades. If it's going against you and you don't have a long-term buy program, like if you're day trading in particular, you cannot hold on to something and just let it bleed you out. You have to cut it. Dude, memory is just... I gotta cut both those. See, and that sucks, I had to take two loss, they weren't big losses, but it's hard to do that. It's hard to cut those, but you have to. Both of these trades went down $10 a share. Apple's dropping too. I'm not cutting that one though. See, cutting these was the right move because it's still going down. I would be down quite a bit more already. So normally what happens, what my observations are, is when you get these big sell-offs at the open, you want to get out of them and you want to wait until about 10 o'clock. Because for whatever reason, things tend to turn around at 10 o'clock and you get these rebounds. I'm saying that and it's trying to bounce right now. It's making me want to get back in it.
Suicide.
See, I didn't get in right there. See, we had this rejection candle and then another green candle on top. The way the traditional way to trade, day trade, with the way they teach you is when you see that a lot of people teach it this way is when you see that rejection candle with that wick on the bottom of the green candle right there where my mouse is, and then you get the green candle that's over it. This is on the 1 minute chart, and it breaks above it. You get in right there and your stop is right here at the bottom of this wick. It gives you a clear place to stop and it gives you a clear entry. I guess that would technically work right here because they would still be in the trade. Actually, I'm gonna jump back in here and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna use that wick as the stop right here. This is my stop. And I have basically the exact same thing happen on the other chart. We'll test this out and see if this works. So we have a clear stop at 315.40. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and do it one more. I'll do this. I'll put a stop loss right there. Take profit up here. So to see it put me a stop and a take profit, and I'll do the same thing over here. So that's a way to do it with stops. That way, if you don't trust yourself or you think it's going to flush lower and you won't be able to get out in time, then the stop just kind of helps you make sure that you get out and you don't take a huge loss. A lot of times I don't trade with stop losses and I just have my hands on the keys, ready to get out. But the only time that kind of goes against you is if you get a huge red candle and it just flushes super hard, super fast. Sometimes you can't get out. Like it's moving down so fast that your entry gets skipped and you end up getting stuck in the trade. So that's whenever having a stop loss is really good to have. I'm actually going to pull this take profit off, I think, because I don't really... I like to take profit whenever I want to, not whenever. Because if it's going up really hard, I want to make sure that it's... My general rule is I like to see it kind of top out and pull back about 20% before of the move before I take it off the table, because I don't want to limit my winners. AMD's still trying to break down, man. That's crazy. Kind of didn't really see memory selling off today either. I thought memories kind of sold off for a few days in a row, so I really expected that one to have a rebound day, but it's apparently not wanting to. Yeah, see, Nvidia's going down too. I just don't understand it. They got that deal for all that money and their price is going down today. It feels like a little bit of market manipulation to me. See how this candle bounced cleanly off this resistance line that I drew? Once it breaks through support and it's coming back up, that becomes resistance. Alright, well... Yeah, see these guys on Trader TV, they're all getting stopped out on everything. It's just that kind of a day so far. We'll see if it turns around. I could have gotten out of AMD pre-market for a win. And I did. Market feeling pretty heavy right now. It's a fine line between being stubborn and then not taking advantage of the reversal. You know, like right now it looks like everything's trying to reverse a little bit, but if it doesn't, you can't be stubborn. You know, you got to be flexible. Oh, that was good. Good news. Existing home sales came in line, so that should be good news for the market, I would think. Okay, all right. Get rid of this alert. It looks like everything's rebounding now. Man, that was feeling pretty sketchy there for a minute. You know, I'm still down about 15 or 20 bucks from where I was earlier. Apple's still not doing anything. Just trying to bounce a little bit. Look at that. Everything dropped. I mean, I can pretty much pull up any chart and they all look the same. Oh, that one doesn't. Look at that one. That one. That one. They all kind of just flushed on the open. This one needs to hold this support line. I don't really want to see it close below that. I'm thinking about joining a prop firm just to try it out and see what that's like. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's saying NVIDIA's not reacting properly. I'm feeling the same way about AMD. It just is not doing kind of what I want it to. And it's not just, it doesn't just have to do with the fact that I'm underwater on it. It's the fact that it's rebounding, but it's just not really, it's just acting funny. Normally, whenever I say that, and if you've watched any of my other videos, normally whenever I say something's acting funny and it's not acting like I thought it would, a lot of times what happens is the next day, some news will be released and something's going on, but they're just not letting everybody know about it right now. And then after it comes out, you're like, ah, that's why it wasn't acting correctly. Is Meta doing something? Oh my god, Meta's skyrocketing. Yeah, look at Meta. I'll pull it up over here. That would be the one to get in right there. See, this is another thing, like on the 1 minute chart, when you see this like little candles and it's going up in a 45-degree line like that, that's institutional buyers doing that. So somebody got the program, somebody got the order basically, or the memo, and said, hey, we need to buy X amount of Meta shares. And so that's the way they do it. They do it in little increments like that, because if they just buy 1 million shares of Meta all at one time, the price will just, it'll be worse than what you see right here. It'll just go straight up. So they do it in little candles like that. And they also have to do it that way because of liquidity. They go... I think Meta uses AMD, so that should be good news for AMD if something's happened going on with Meta. Everything's going up and Apple's just sitting there. I should sell it and get into Meta. doesn't necessarily have to be news on it. It could just be going up because somebody got, a lot of these big funds, they have, they like to buy these Mag 7 names for their hedge fund when they have investment portfolios for people. You want to have like really stable stocks in there. So Meta, Amazon, Google, Tesla, those kinds of Mag 7 stocks. If they get the buy order and say, hey, we need 5 more million shares of whatever, or 10 million share, 50 million share, whatever they buy, if they get that order to buy it, then the stock just goes up because they're going to be buying it, pretty much consistent buying pressure for 1 to 3 days. I might need to get another coffee, man. Oh. He's shorting Meta right now. I don't know if I'd be doing that because, like I said, I think the institutions are buying, so he might be running into a brick wall there. I don't always agree with the way that guy trades. Not a whole lot to say about this right now. Here, I'll pull the AMD trade over here so you guys can see that. It's kind of doing the same thing. It's testing the 50 right there. If it breaks through the 50, then it has resistance at the 200. So these lines right here, even though they just look like meaningless lines on there, everybody sees these, and so they do act as support and resistance as well. You can have EMAs act as resistance, VWAP, whole dollar, half dollar, not so much on these big cap names. On the whole dollar, half dollar, that's more of a small cap thing. And you also have like previous support and resistance where, like, if you look over here where price bounced a couple times and I drew that line and then it bounced twice off of it right there before it finally broke through. You can see the candle wicking down right here on the 50. It's doing exactly what I just said. Those act as resistance when they bump into them. So what you would want to see is for it to pull back, and then the next round of buyers are able to push through that, which you're seeing right now. And then if it can push through that, it'll come up here, it'll bounce off this 200, and the same thing will happen. Every time it hits one of these lines, basically the resolve of the buyers gets tested. The short sellers try and short it, and then depending on who wins, the buyers or sellers, it either pushes through it or it completely rejects off those levels. DRAM's starting to pull back in. I don't like to see that. We can pull up the triple Qs and see what the overall NASDAQ's doing. So we're getting a little resist. See how they're bouncing off that 200 and the 50 are both in the same spot, and it's bounced. That's double resistance. You're getting a bounce down right here. If this is able to push on through, then all these other stocks that I'm trading, individual stocks do better when the overall market's doing better, and it's just the way it is, because a lot of times when people trade, they'll have the Qs over on a different chart, and I do the same thing. Watch the Qs over here, and I'm thinking about where to get in and out of a position. If I see the Qs bounce hard and go red on something, and I'm already at a spot where I think it could be resistance, then a lot of times I'll get out of the trade, especially if I'm in the money. Just because you want to lock in those profits and you don't want to take that reversal candle. Memory looks like it might be bouncing off the 200 right here, and if that happens, that should give a boost to the NASDAQ. We'll see if it's able to do it or not. I'm going to grab some coffee real quick. I will be right back.
No one can do it like me.
And we're back. I was kind of expecting a pretty good sized move off of Coherent, so I would not be surprised if this thing goes up to maybe like 340 maybe, so another $10. AMD is bouncing off that resistance line that I drew earlier from the low a day in the pre-market. Tempted to just get out of this thing, man.
No one can do it like me.
I'm gonna jump out of that. I don't. Mark the fail on that one. I don't know.
No one can do it like me.
Yeah, AMD's selling off. I don't know. I think I'm probably gonna leave that one alone for the rest of the day. Don't understand that one. Nvidia's doing the same thing, so it's not just AMD. Meta's still going up. That one's too expensive for me to try and trade, though. It's over $600 a share. I mean, I could use margin and buy more of it, but I don't really like doing that. I'm kind of the opinion, unless there's like a super crazy opportunity where you know something's going to be good and you just have, I'll use margin on something like that, but just for like an everyday play where you're like, oh, it's going up, I'm gonna buy some. I'm not gonna use margin for that because it's not a good enough opportunity for me to basically borrow money to trade. Sucks about AMD. Memory's bleeding. Apple's struggling. This one here is the only one. I wonder if the other photonic names are doing well. I bet they are. Not as good. Actually, no. This one's kind of an anomaly. The reason it's an anomaly probably is because yesterday we had this crazy move where it went down 385 all the way down to 320. It was a $65 move basically. And when you have these oversized moves like that, unusual, oversized, crazy moves, the market tends to kind of act like a rubber band a little bit. So if you have a crazy move in one direction, a lot of times you'll get a bounce, at least a partial bounce, back the other way. I may pull, let's see, I'm going to pull up NVIDIA on the side chart. And if I see it breaking out, I will probably try and get back into AMD. But if it doesn't, then I'm not. Because AMD seems like it, well, it does. It moves a lot more than NVIDIA. NVIDIA tends to make these like $4 swings over the course of the day. And that's not quite enough for me to be interested in it. Let's see. I mean, I have seen it move more than that, but like most of the time, it's these smaller moves. Yeah, the biggest move I have on the chart for like the last 6, 8, 12 months is around $10, but that's unusual. It's only happened a few times. Yeah, AMD is basically following whatever NVIDIA is doing. Oh. Coffee's good. I needed that. I think I'm going to call it right there. This is turning into kind of a grind, and I know it's not exciting to just sit here and watch me shake my head back and forth looking at the screen. So I'm going to call it right there. I got to go work out and water the plants and do some other things anyway. I'll probably set some stop losses and walk away from this thing for a little bit. Go ahead and get out of that trade. But I'll see you guys tomorrow, and thanks for tuning in if you did.